Ooh, bitch is psycho. Shit was fucking ridiculous. I've never been good with confrontation, so I just kind of like kept reading my book that I was reading and ignored her, and she like took it as I was just like, oh, fuck you. It was more like, I don't know what to say to you. Everything I had to say to you has been said. We're not friends anymore. There's nothing to work out. I'm sorry, we're done. We're just not good at being friends. I did send her a message that night just being like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm really bad with confrontation. Like, I don't want to end this really on a bad note. I can't be your friend anymore. And she went ballistic, and I was like, you know, whatever, it's not a big deal. And I did, as I thought, lose all of my friends. Like, I was talking with Edna about like what happened and my reasoning for it. I held on for a little bit. I don't see why we can't be friends even if we're not all friends together. I made some really good friends after that. Like, without losing all of them, I wouldn't have gotten as close as I did to Bree, and so it worked out in the end. But at the time, I got like really, really depressed, and I like messaged Edna about this. Like, are you okay? Like, she thought I was suicidal, and she was like, are you okay? Are you okay? Like, is there anything I can do for you? And no kidding, the very next day, she was like, there'll be other days for you. My best friend needs me. We can't talk anymore. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? But whatever, you're best friends, I get it. Like, I don't hold a grudge against her. I'm not mad or anything. Like, I recently started talking to her again, so I mean, I never held anything against her. Like, I get it. Because Nora had deleted me off of Facebook, but I found out a few days later that Nora had finally dumped her boyfriend. There was a few other things that I'm not gonna like say because it's not really my place to say, but her boyfriend was a really great guy. He was posting stuff about like being really down and stuff, and so I checked to see if they were still dating. They weren't, and so I messaged him, and I was just like, hey, if you need anyone to talk to, I'm here for you, not a big deal, like just message me. And so we started talking. I don't know if he asked me or if I just straight up told him, but I did tell him that she had cheated on him because I thought, one, they weren't together, why does it really matter? Two, he deserved to know, especially from someone who like had seen it happen. Apparently he confronted her about it, and she asked him who told her, and at first he didn't say anything, and so she came to me asking if I told him, and not gonna lie, I was still afraid of her, so I lied, which isn't good, and I probably shouldn't. I probably should have just been like, yeah, bitch, I told him. But I didn't. I lied, and I was like, nope, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't tell him. And so she asked me for us to be friends again and to work on stuff, and so I was like, you know, because this is hard on everyone else in the group, even though I don't really want to be your friend, I will try, so that way the group's not torn apart and everyone can, and things can just kind of go on as normal. That didn't fucking work. Whatever, she said she always hated me, but we were really good friends at one point, so I doubt that. I tried to act like it wasn't a big deal, but it kind of was. As I was losing all my friends, I got really depressed, and I like cut my hair really short and like this weird asymmetrical thing, and I regretted it instantly. I kept talking with Steve, and eventually we started dating. And I know people are going to think like, oh, you just did that to get back at her, or you didn't really have feelings about him, or it was just like petty high school bullshit. I genuinely liked him. Like, we genuinely liked each other. There was no getting back at anybody with dating him. I dated him for well over a year. I thought everything was gonna be fine. I thought, like, me and her weren't really friends anymore, so it didn't really, like, break any girl code type things. We started dating, and shit hit the fucking fan. She started posting on Facebook about how I was a whore, and how, like, oh, how can you get with this whore right at, like, shortly after we broke up, and it's like, I thought you broke up with him, like you were cheating on him, like did you really want to be in a relationship with him anyway, like the fuck? Anyway, one time, he came up to me and he was like don't get mad, but I want to like show you this thing, or tell you about this thing, and he's like, I was just talking about Nora, and I was like, that's fine, that's understandable, you dated for a really long time, I'm not gonna get mad, it's not a big deal. And she posted something about, I feel sorry for that whore you got with right after you and I broke up, saying that you wish you could still be with me, like, something. But also, at the same time, she had started calling him and, like, asking him to dump me and get back with her. And so, like, one time we were texting or messaging on Facebook or something, he was like, yeah, I'm on the phone with her right now. And I was like, why the fuck are you talking to her? And she like would always say these bad things about me, and he would just like let her talk. Eventually he stopped answering. So she would just like call him all the fucking time. I'd get so fucking pissed. Like eventually when she found out me and him were going to prom together, she would call and begged him to go to prom with her and dump me and just stuff like that, and it was ridiculous. Like, it pissed me off to no end. And she would post stuff about me on Facebook. I still have screenshots. Or, no. I had screenshots, but I deleted them. Eventually the phone calls stopped. Or she would call occasionally, but he just stopped answering. I got really upset by it. So I had gone to my counselor and I was just like, hey, this is what's going on. Like, I stopped being her friend and now she's doing all of this and I don't feel safe. I don't feel like school's a safe environment for me anymore. They didn't do anything. They just kind of were like, oh, it'll die down once summer comes around. Like, not a big deal. Bitch kept posting shit over the summer. When it had been 6 months since we stopped being friends, I sent her a message on Facebook. And I was like, Nora, I'm glad you're out of my life. You were such a terrible, toxic person. I don't know how I survived in your presence for so long. Like, when we were friends, she even said how she liked manipulating people. Who the fuck says that? Who the fuck enjoys that besides psychopaths? So when I say she is a psycho ex-friend, she is really psycho. Can you please stop calling my boyfriend, saying lies about me, and like asking him to break up with me for you? Also, can you stop posting the things you post about me on Facebook? Like, can you just stop? And she's like, you should take one from Elsa and let it go. Like, I just hope you know that the way you treat people has an impact on them. Have a nice life, bye. And then I blocked her. Oh, I'm remembering stuff that I forgot now. Oh man. The day before Halloween, senior year. So a year later, Steve and I had been always saying how we had this stuff from her and that we just wanted to burn it. And so we went. No fucking kidding. We ran into her on the beach with this box of her shit. She came up to him, grabbed his arm, like, you know, when you're trying to be all like flirty and stuff. She like said something that I couldn't hear. She smirked at me and like she grabbed something from the box. And then like because she was grabbing and flirting with my boyfriend, at least that's what I'm assuming her smirk meant, I flipped her off. She turned around, she screamed horror across the beach, and I just walked away. I was going to scream back, at least I don't cheat on my boyfriends, but I didn't. And I think the phone call started up again around that point. I went to the school again because I was fed up. It had been over half a year of shit going on, and I was like, I have pictures of things that she said about me, either directly to me or on social media about me that is clearly about me, so there is no question at all who she's talking about. And he was like, okay, when we're done with this meeting, send them to me. And I was like, good, things are finally going to get done. By the end of the meeting, he told me, it is just a conflict, don't send me anything, we're not going to get involved. And I was so pissed. Things kind of died down, and then I don't know what changed. Something changed. I know something did, but I don't remember what. I constantly like went to my counselor. Then she started walking in front of my boyfriend's house, like every day after school. Sometimes she would walk with Jonas, and she'd be like, oh, we're just getting to Jonas's house. Later on, Steve showed me where Jonas's house was. Here's Nora's house. Here's Steve's house. Jonas's house is here. So she would go this way to get to his house. The fuck? Throughout the school year, she would like leave class. She would just walk in front of any class that I was in and glare at me. I don't know why. It happened too much to be a coincidence. Later on in the school year, she confronted me at my locker and she was like, hey Ashley, you need to keep my name out of your mouth. It wasn't anything big. I lost it. I had a really shitty day, so I started bawling. I went to my favorite teacher's room. He hugged me. He called my counselor, and we were just talking about it. I was just so upset because it had been over a year by that point. I was just done with it. And my counselor was like, we'll fill out another bullying report, and something should get done now. This is your third time saying something. And the vice principal kept on the whole, it's a conflict thing, so I want to get you and Nora alone in a room together to talk things out. And I was like, nope, fuck this idea, I can't do it, I'm terrified of her. They were like, okay, well we can't force you to do this. Eventually, I had filled out another report against her because I was just fed up with it and I wanted something to happen. And so then, because I had filled out one against her, she filled out one against me. I don't know what she put down, but I still really want to know. Oh, I know what I left out. Some point senior year when I was really fed up, I think around the whole year point, I drew a picture of her. It is the best drawing I've ever done. No joke. It looks really realistic. It looks just like her, and I can't draw realistic stuff for shit. So I'm surprised. I think anger and like near hatred is what really fuels my artistic ability. It was rude. This is another thing that I'm not proud of. I did delete it, but it took me a little while. And that's not an excuse. It was a really shitty thing to do. But I posted it on Facebook. I still feel bad about that. So then it got to the point after she filled out one against me, where like, yeah, this is happening. You don't get a say in the matter. It's happening. And I was like, no, I can't do this. I went and I cried in front of my counselor, her counselor, the vice principal, like full-blown panic attacks in front of 3 different people at 3 separate times, and they're still like, yeah, you have to do this. So I got my mom involved. And so I told her everything, and now they're trying to force me in a room with her to talk things out. And I don't feel safe doing it, but they're forcing me to do it. And she called the school so angrily. Let's try to even do that, but I'm gonna be there. And I felt better knowing that, like, okay, at least my mom's gonna be there. And they're like, well, her parents have to be there too. Her parents refused to show up. So the meeting never happened. Into senior year, I ended up breaking up with Steve. One of the biggest strains in our relationship for the entire time that we were dating was that we had this constant pressure from Nora, and then things kind of died down. I'm pretty sure she still posts things about me every now and then. I sincerely hope that one day she wakes up and realizes that the way she treats people isn't going to slide. Once you're an adult, people tend to figure out who they are more and what they deserve. And there are a lot of people that aren't going to sit and take her bullshit. I hope she realizes, like, has some great epiphany and is like, I should probably treat people better, and she does. I hope she has a happy life, and I hope she, like, does good things, and I hope everything goes well for her. I don't wish anything bad upon her, even though she probably wishes bad upon me still. If you've had any experiences like this, or maybe you have a psycho friend now and you're trying to figure out how to, like, stop having them in your life, I am full of tips and tricks and ideas of ways to like, let them down without and diffuse any possible tension. I got you. Just let me know in the comments. Leave a like if you like this video, or you can sympathize with me. Subscribe if you haven't already. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!